Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. We are in the month of August, and we have a wonderful, new, exciting theme that we're working on. And today is the day we get to go a little bit more deeply into our theme. Victoria, what do you have for us?
Well, it's funny that you say we're going deeper into our theme because that is item number one on our list of 3 tools that we're going to talk about this month. So, when we talk about theme, what does that even mean? You hear the word thrown around all the time in regards to novels or novellas or stories, but what is a theme? Simply put, a theme is just the big idea. It's whatever big universal idea that you want to talk about as part of your story. It can be something that runs underneath it, like a common thread that kind of buoys all of the scenes and sequels together. Or it can be something that sits outside the novel, that the novel just references to, and then it's the reader's job to tether those two things together. So let me give you an easy example of theme. A good one is Love Conquers All. That's one of my favorite ones because the cool thing about a big theme like Love Conquers All is you can tether it to any story element that you want to. For example, how would you tether it to a story arc? Well, if love conquers all, it's a romance. You're going to have a story where people come over their shortcomings, come through their journey, and come together as love interests to finally end up romantically involved. Easy peasy, right? Well, what about on the other hand? What if you're writing a character arc that feeds into the story? Well, how might you write a love conquers all theme for a character? What about someone who learns to love themselves? That's another great one. So in terms of building things around a theme, you can do it with a story or you can do it with a character. Now, the other 2 items on our list are symbols and motifs. So I'm going to break down symbols this week and we're going to talk about motifs next week. So we'll put a pin in that one for next time. But for today, what is a symbol and how does it feed together with a theme? How do they fit? Well, a symbol is simply a single representation of your big thematic idea. So if we stick with Love Conquers All, what could be a symbol of that? How about a wedding ring? Easy peasy. So as you're thinking about what thing could I wrap that thematic idea around and pack it into so that when my reader comes across that, they know without question that we're talking about a symbol that relates to that theme. Think it through. Do some of that writing or some of that pool collecting that we did last month, because what you want to do is generate for yourself some ideas of symbols that could refer back to your theme so that your reader is getting that message throughout your story. When we come back next time, we're going to dig into motifs and see how those 3 ideas fit together to become the cornerstones for building a great story, whether you're looking at just the story elements or you're also looking at characters. So think about your big idea, which is your theme, and what symbols might you collect in your pool of ideas to feed that theme for your reader. Kathleen?
Oh boy, that's very exciting. Of course, very often we can identify the theme in a story that we're reading or a novel, and we identify with that theme. That just helps us carry us through the novel and increases our enjoyment of it so much. And I love the idea that a symbol can be a representative of that theme to bring it closer to us and to remind us throughout the story that we're dealing with that theme. Well, we have a brand new balance trait this month. Now, I'm going to review a little bit about what a balance trait is because we've been talking all this time about empathy traits. Empathy traits are character traits that involve your character and other people, other humans, other beings in that character's life and existence. And balance traits, on the other hand, are often symbolized with a teeter-totter because the interesting thing about a balance point is that things are going the best when you manage to get it in the middle. You can fall off in either direction with too much or too little. Well, what is our new balance trait? This is one that only recently appeared in my research because I'm starting to do another round of research at what I'm calling level 2, which is dealing with how the character traits develop from one another, how they relate to one another. It's just a different way of tackling the character traits that we've been doing every month. And in that research, I realized that I was missing a balance trait, and that is the balance trait of equanimity. Well, what do we mean by equanimity? The simplest way of thinking of equanimity is it's the calm in the storm. It's easy to be calm when everything's going great. Who isn't calm when they're relaxing with a novel, stretched out on a deck chair in the Caribbean by the sea? Of course you're calm. That's what you went there for, was to get your calm on. But can you be calm when the world is crashing down around you, when everybody else is acting like idiots, when you've got 50,000 things to do at once and everybody's after you to get them all done? Then can you be calm in that set of circumstances? That's what we're talking about with equanimity, the ability to hold that level of calmness and peace throughout the challenging times. Now, how is that a balance trait? Well, you can think of the happy-go-lucky guy. What me worry? I don't have a care in the world. Bills pay, who cares? Wife needs me, who cares? Kids need me to pick them up at school. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, calm, no problem. Hey, I haven't got a thing to worry about in my whole life. Well, that might be calm, but it certainly isn't going to be peaceful for anyone else in your character's life. Your character is going to drive everybody else in his life a bit nutty. So that's the aspect that makes it really easy to see that what we're dealing with is a balance trait. Now, sometimes we have to be really careful when we tease apart our character traits, like kindness and generosity are sometimes so bound up together. Well, equanimity is a really nice one in that it seems to be quite stable on its own. It's a little bit of a fancy word, but once you get past the fact that we don't throw the word around every day and we realize we're just talking about composure, what's your character's ability? Is he composed? If he's standing up and suddenly has to give an extemporaneous speech, can he manage to be fairly relaxed? This is what we mean when we're talking about equanimity. And it's a lot about, very much describes the personality of our character. So we'll be playing around with this character some more as the month continues. Next week, we'll talk about how it looks on the various positions of the character profile diagram. But for now, just think about equanimity, what it means. Where have you seen it in the lives of people around you? Where have you noticed it in the books and the stories that you've read? Keep an eye out for it. You'll see it everywhere once you start looking. Victoria, do you have anything to add?
Well, first of all, that's fantastic. When you introduced this new trait, I had no idea what it was. I kind of had a sense that it had something to do with balance, but I wasn't really sure. So having the calm in the storm as the center point to wrap the idea around is awesome. But now I'm thinking, since we always manage to dovetail, what could be a symbol of equanimity? That is an interesting question to ask. So maybe our viewers can bake their noodles around what might a person have, or how might they exhibit something that is a symbol that they have this trait. Interesting question. So if people were thinking about this question and they wanted to share their answers or their ideas with us, where might they go to find us?
They would come to LiLLiPub.org. LiLLiPub. It's where we hang out when we're not here in YouTube land. And oh my goodness, we're having so much fun in LiLLiPub right now. I tell you every week that Victoria has a fusion writing class every Saturday where you can submit your writing and have it evaluated. Well, lately, she's been showing up in the library, one of our spaces in LiLLiPub, one of our hangout spaces, and having live co-working sessions, and they are just really warmly received. So if you want more than a weekly dose of Victoria, if you want to see how she works and where she works, come on, join LiLLiPub.org and come on over to the co-working sessions. It's a lot of fun. LiLLiPub's starting to really get jumping, so we hope to see you over there. Bye-bye.